Well, hello, everyone. It is Friday, and we are here for our first edition of June of Focus on It Friday. I am here, guys. So excited to be with you. And oh my goodness, do we have a good topic for you today. So come on, grab a friend. Let everyone come on in. Let's do this, y'all. It is a great topic today. We're going to talk about whether or not to treat ADHD during the summer months. And I get this question a lot. I get it a lot. And I wanted to talk about it with you all. My friends, hello, Mama. How are you? Thank you for joining us today at Focus on It Friday. We are here. Hopefully a few more will come in. We've got Miss Rachel Robinson. Thank you for watching. We're going to be talking about a topic, guys, that always seems to make people confused, because some people say you should, some people say you shouldn't, and then there are others who say you can or you can't. So people are confused and they want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Miss Rachel says hello. And so we want to break it down today. Mama says hello, Dr. Brandy B. I say hello, Mama, to Dr. Brandy B. It is a pleasure to have you as always, darling. So we're talking about whether or not we need to take medicines in the summer, or what are some reasons to take medicines in the summer. I'm going to give everybody about 2 more minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and jump in, because it is sunny here in Birmingham, and on a sunny Friday in the summer in Birmingham, you ought to be able to go out and enjoy that. So we definitely want to do that. My Auntie Brenda is here. Hello, Auntie Brenda. Thank you so much for joining us on this sunny day. It's 82 degrees now, y'all. When I left the house this morning at old dark 30, it was a wee bit chilly, and I thought, uh-oh, I don't have sleeves on. I'm going to be a little bit cool today, so I zipped up. And then when I came out, it is quite sunny, so no concern about the sun right now. There are 4 of us. If we can get one more, we'll go ahead and get started, because what I have found is that people join and they watch at a later time, a later date, whenever they get some free time, and so we will allow people to do that. Miss Luella Marbury is here from my church. We thank you for joining, and we're so sorry to hear about the loss of your sister. Certainly have been lifting you in prayer for that. All right, guys, we've got 7 people watching. I can't see 7, but 7 are here. And so Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook, I assume it will tell us the truth, so we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm Dr. Brandy B., your triple board certified pediatrician, adult psychiatrist, and child and adolescent psychiatrist. And through my Facebook live stream, Focus on It Friday, I help worried moms, dads, grandmas, church members, and anybody else who has a child with ADHD get the education that they need so that they can be encouraged, be engaged, get educated about what they need to do to help their child be successful in the classroom and in life. We've got Mr. Iva joining us. Thank you for stopping by. And Mr. Anthony Blevings, thank you for joining us as well. So we're talking about the age-old question, guys. It never gets old. Iva says, hey, Doc, hello. Thank you for joining us. So the question, y'all, is, do we need to treat these babies in the summertime? Do we? What do y'all think? Do y'all think we need to treat these babies in the summertime? Do we need to just let them say, hey, this is just for school, they don't need any medicine in the summer, let these kids be free? Or do you say, heck no, if they wake up, they're getting treated? What do y'all think? Y'all give me an answer just in a few quick minutes. What do you all think? If you have children, or even if you don't, it's a free-for-all. It's your opinion. It's Dr. Brandy B's Focus on It Friday, so anything goes over here as long as you're respectful. It's all good. So what do you all think? Should we just, let it go? Oh, I've got something for you. Or do we treat it? Do we let them be? He said, let the babies be. Leave them alone in the summertime. I love it. We've got Miss Karen Crumley watching us. Thank you so much for stopping by. So let's get into it. So, of course, I got to tell you, because everybody doesn't know what ADHD is, right? So attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is it's a mental illness, folks. Okay, guys, I hate to break it to you, but it is, in which children's thoughts, behaviors, and actions, moods, emotions are all disturbed, okay? And it's just not with kids, right? So that's one of the biggest misconceptions right there, is that it just happens in children. And so when you turn 18, ADHD goes away. Wrong, right? So many of the people that come here and watch, they actually are trying to get information for themselves. So it is a behavioral disturbance. It's a disturbance of thinking, actions, feelings, okay? Emotions, all of those things. There are three types: predominantly inattentive presentation, which is where you lose things, forget things, you're easily distracted, you're procrastinating, rushing, making careless mistakes. Those are your inattentive symptoms. Then you have your hyperactive impulsive symptoms. This is what most people think about when they think of ADHD. So these are going to be your talkative, blurting, interrupting, can't stay seated, always on the go, acting as if driven by a motor, being loud. You always know where that kid is in the house. And then these kids are always starting one task before completing another. And then you got your combined presentation. And this is where your kids have what? Inattentive symptoms as well as hyperactive impulsive symptoms. We have a comment. Let's see what we got. Miss Rachel Robinson says, if they are working or playing sports, yes, continue, Miss. My son is not growing much, so they want me to give him a break in the summer. All right. So that sounds, hello, mommy. It's me, Franklin. Hi, Franklin. I love you, sweet pie. You're on grandma's phone on Focus on the Friday. Franklin knows that I talk to my friends around the world, and so he's got my mom's phone, and that's pretty good typing there, buddy, for a first grader. We appreciate him, and we love him for stopping by. Okay, so do we need to treat it? So before we can talk about why we would consider not treating it, we probably need to look at why we do treat it, right? Because in medicine, informed consent means that I've told you what your diagnosis is, what the proposed treatment is, what alternatives there are to the proposed treatment, which of course could be doing nothing, and then what the result would be if we did nothing. So I need to tell you why it is that we treat ADHD, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to come right behind the why to treat it and tell you about options that we should not. I will tell you this. I am not a fan of people poorly understanding all of the different things that ADHD can do and just giving a blanket do not treat ADHD in the summer. That is scary. And I'm talking about professionals, not individuals, but there are professionals, my pediatric colleagues, who will say do not treat it in the summertime. That lets me know that they don't understand that ADHD has more to do than with academics, right? And so right off the bat, my heart skips a beat, and I think about safety and so many other things that can happen. But let's go. So socially, one of the reasons that we treat ADHD is for social reasons, right? So, you know, the kid, they're loud, they're intrusive, they're always up in somebody's face, they can't keep friends, they can't go on the field trip, and so we might treat ADHD for that reason. Probably not that as an only reason, but that is one of the reasons why we treat it. So you can imagine that in the summertime, if you are out with your friends, you're trying to make friends in the neighborhood, you want to play kickball with them, you want to play 1, 2, 3 red light. I might be dating myself with that one, I don't know. You want to be social, but you're so intrusive, loud, hog the ball, don't know how to play with other people. And so that is going to mean that you're going to get excluded, right? So if you have a child who cannot manage to control their impulsivity such that it then impacts their ability to interact with others and play nicely in the sandbox, if you will, then you may want to continue treating them, especially if they're going to be at somebody's camp, somebody's school setting, right? Because we know that kids who have ADHD, especially if it's not treated or poorly treated or undertreated, they are very much likely to fail a grade. And so they may be in summer school. So if you're in summer school and you're trying to make friends and you're trying to get to the next grade, you most certainly are going to need your medicine. So social reasons are one thing. Now, the second thing, emotional. Nowhere in the criteria is there anything that mentions emotional impact or effect of ADHD, but we absolutely know that ADHD impacts people's moods. So if I can treat your ADHD and you are not as moody, and let me tell you why these kids are so moody, and these adults, hello, hallelujah, these human beings who have ADHD are so incredibly irritable because they are constantly getting in trouble, right? They're always forgetting something. They never completed it. They made a careless mistake. They put 5 when the question was 2 plus 2. They put 5 for 2 plus 2. And so now they are frustrated, right? Or they're trying to hold on to something in their memory, like a phone number, 777-9311, 777-9311, 777-9311. And then you come along with one other piece of information, right? Because the working memory and the ability to hold on to something while somebody is giving you new information, it is very much limited in folks who have ADHD. And so they might holler out at you, not because they don't like you, not because they're mad with you, but because that means that what they were trying so hard to hold on to, they lost when you said something to them. Or because they put 5 for 2 plus 2. Or because they really did have good intentions of taking the trash out by the time you got home, but they were on their way out the back door with the trash, and their favorite song came on the radio, their favorite show came on the TV, their baby sister or brother came in with their favorite video game or other game, and before you know it, they put the trash down, they forgot about the trash, they're vegging out on the sofa, you come back in and you say, why is this trash still inside? And they get irritable. They're mad at themselves, they're frustrated with themselves, they're upset with you. We've got a situation. And so sometimes the mood dysregulation, the moodiness, the irritability, the mood lability, the mood instability, all of those things can be greatly impacted by ADHD. And so if we treat the ADHD, not only are they able to complete the task, because that's the whole point of treating it, then that also means that they're not going to be mad at you when you bring up what they didn't do, or they won't be upset or frustrated with themselves when they are not able to complete the task at hand. So social is one thing. The second thing, emotional, the tantrums, the being frustrated, the being upset, all of that is reduced. And some people alone will give their kids their medicine every single day that they wake up, just for that reason. I was going to say something came in my mind. Oh, I want to tell y'all this before we go any further. Please understand that ADHD does not know calendars. It does not care about your calendar. It does not care about your plan. It does not care about your location. It does not care about your socioeconomic status. It does not care about your race. It does not care about the region of the country you live in. It does not care, right? And so if you have ADHD on January the 1st, you also have it on July the 1st. And so how you manage it may differ or it may not, but the first thing you need to realize is that you still have those symptoms, and there is still something that needs to be organized. There's still something you need to remember. There's still something that you need to get done, or your child needs to get done. And so if they get it done on January 1st with medicine, they are probably going to need medicine to get it done on July the 1st. Okay, let's see what we got. Miss Jennifer Swan says, you are such an incredible doctor and a beautifully special person. Dr. B, we love you. And girl, I said, mwah, I love you right back. Thank you so much. We've got Dr. Terrellin coming in. We've got Tanya Garrett. We've got Kristen Slaughter-Nevitt. Miss Lovey Banks. Patricia Pruitt says that you are a beautiful lady. Thank you so very much. We've got Miss Wanda Harris here, and Miss Vanessa Wilson has stopped by as well. Miss Tanya Hardin Dixon is here as well. Okay, emotional and social. Number 3, academics. Now that's a little bit obvious. So some of you all are saying, well, Dr. Brandon B, that's why we're here. We're not doing academics. But here's the thing, guys. So I was talking with my husband and I was like, oh my goodness, how in the world did we get these kids who do as well as they do in school? Now, I'm not no dummy now, okay? My crayon was definitely not dull, right? Was it the sharpest in the box? I don't know, perhaps, but it certainly was not dull. My husband, his was not dull either. these kids we got, they got some sharp crayons that they working with, y'all, real sharp. And I said to my husband, what is it that we did? Because I really don't know. I don't have a prescription. If somebody were to say, tell me what you did, I'm going to do it exactly. I don't know. And my husband said, but you do know. We talked to them. We pointed things out. I can remember with my first, now this was with my first, y'all. After the first, it went down from there. But I would walk around in the kitchen and I would say to him, when I was still on maternity leave, refrigerator, window, cabinet, cereal. I would do this, okay? The point is that we're always learning. Getting an education, for those of us that truly understand, is not just what is happening at school. You're always learning. I'm always learning. As a matter of fact, a friend just explained to me like 2-3 months ago that there are a lot of, I had noticed it but never put it together, that there are a lot of overlapping symptoms between attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, intellectual giftedness, and autism spectrum disorder. Hence why you might see super smart kids, as we call them, who may have sensory issues, but they have pretty typical social lives, okay? And so we would not be able to give them an autism spectrum diagnosis because they're social, and autism spectrum disorder is a social disorder, all right? So let me go back. Academics, like I said, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 11th. Why am I naming those? Odd number grades. I'm no educator, but my educator friends, because I went to them and I was like, what's up with 3rd grade, y'all? What's up with 5th grade? Because there's this mass influx of folks coming to see me in these odd number grades. And that is when I learned, folks, that is when your academics, you're learning new information in the odd number grades. You're developing or growing upon or emphasizing, going deeper on what you learned in the odd number grades. You're going deeper on the even number grades, right? So 3rd grade also, guys, that I found is going to happen for my son next year. You're going to change classes in a lot of schools, right? So they've got one teacher that teaches 2 subjects and the other 3rd grade teacher teaches the other 2 main subjects. Okay, so education is always happening. If they have failed, hello, if you sending that kid to school talking about you're going to make up in 2 or 3 or 4 weeks what you did not get in 9 months, hello, we need them to focus. We need them to focus. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this, and I don't want nobody to get insulted. Don't say Dr. Brandy be insulted me, be writing all on my page. But insanity, by definition, is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So if you sent that kid to school all year long and somebody has told you that kid has ADHD and you praying and you holding on and you whipping that kid and you done told the coach and you told the pastor and you took them to some specialist that's going to withdraw the ADHD out of them, and then you sent them to summer school with the ADHD still in them because it did not get withdrawn, then guess what's going to happen? They're going to be in the same grade again next year. You can't say I told you. I never tell you I told you so, but you can't say I didn't tell you, okay? So, enrichment, placement exams, kids are going to camps. If they're going to camp for a sport, they need to be paying attention. The coach does not have time to be trying to draw their attention back while they're teaching new stunts and jumps and plays and whatever it is that they're doing, right? I went to a writing camp in high school. It was one of the best ones ever, too. I'm so glad I went. I still use a lot of the things that I learned at that writing camp in the summer. It was only about 2 weeks long, but it wouldn't have done me any good if I could not have focused. Now, I do not have ADHD, right? But I'm just saying, if I could not have focused, then it would have been a waste of time. So academics, social, emotional, academics, okay? The third thing, legal. Now, whenever somebody says to me, I don't give my child their medicine on the weekend and when school is out, okay? Oh, Lord, I always clutch my pearls, okay? And again, this is user-dependent, patient-dependent, child-dependent, adult-dependent, right? But in general, when we're talking about these really impulsive kids and really impulsive young adults and adults, right? It is the weekend, guys. It is after school. It is the summer when the structure is gone. School provides structure, i.e., they might be safe. Non-school hours means loosey-goosey. So what do we do in non-school hours? We're playing in the yard. The ball goes out in the street. We forget to look both ways. We get hit. We are driving. We forget to put on our seatbelt. We also forget to look to the right before we get into the right lane. We hit Granny. We run her off the road. What else do we do? Our phone falls to the ground while we're driving, and we forget to apply brakes or pull over and put it in park, and we roll into somebody. Other legal things, so that's traffic violation, right? Speeding, we forget the speed limit, that there is such a thing. We forget that drugs are not good, and so we get caught with possession, right? Because we forgot the speed limit, so they really pull us over for speeding, and then we forget that we were smoking some stuff that smells of a certain aroma, and so now we got a situation with the law. Also, probably, again, not as much as in summer, but legally, we get a lot of truancy issues that can result from, if you do something for a long time and you start to feel that you're no good at it, eventually you're going to stop wanting to do it. And so that's one of the reasons I'm so big on police treating these babies, is because they will begin to feel like they are not smart, that they're dumb. I had a physician, and I think I shared it. We talked about it. As a matter of fact, I did a whole live on his text message conversation to me, a physician who is a parent, about how he just felt like it took him a long time to get stuff, right? Self-esteem getting diminished because you got to read stuff over and over again. So you sat at your desk for 5 hours, but you really probably done about 30 to 45 minutes of actual studying because you just got distracted. So the legal stuff, truancy, drugs, motor vehicle accidents, all of that can happen in the summertime, guys, right? Now, medical. How does ADHD keep you medically in an upright and safe situation? I'm glad you asked. Pregnancy, impulsivity, guys. Impulsivity, and we got our girls, right? They home alone for the summertime because we're at the job, so they're engaging in drugs, sex, and rock and roll. We're talking adolescents now, because remember, ADHD does not respect the person's age. So we're talking pregnancy, we're talking drugs, which of course can impact your medical situation. We're talking sexually transmitted infections. We're talking other injuries. Small kids with a cape on, they jump off the top of the ledge. They think they can fly, but the cape is not protective like it is on the cartoon that their cape mimics. And so now we're at the hospital with a broken arm, broken leg. Now we got DHR involved because this child has thought that he could fly at least 5 other times, and you were there, and you're trying to explain to them how you're really a good parent and you didn't do anything to the kid. All right, so medical things, this is another reason why we can consider treating our children in the summer. What else? Financial, right? So your adolescents, they're going to be getting jobs, but they may not be able to keep them because they run late, they walked off, they took a break that was not at the right time, or it was too long. What happens? Financially, we can get into situations where parents, you are losing time at work. And when you're losing time at work, that means you're losing pay. That's financial, because you got to either go to the school, go to the camp. They may tell you don't bring them back to the camp. You may have to then find yourself at the ER paying a copay. And for us, our copay is like $250 unless you get admitted, right? And so even if, the money, that's a bad thing, but golly, I just spent 24 hours at the hospital for you to tell me that the elbow is okay. I'm about to give these parents a heart attack. I'm just trying to tell these people what Jesus loves, the truth. These people can do what they want to with this information, but I am trying to let them know, because the people don't know. The people say, we made all A's last year, we don't ever need medicine again. And I want the people to know that even if your child made all A's and they had an assignment that took everybody in the class 45 minutes to do, but it took them 5 hours and 45 minutes, that's not living. That's not living. That's not living. We need to be living, y'all. Life is to be lived, not to brag. I had 3 C-sections, right? And so I feel like my kids are just as special. I'm just as much a mama and a good parent as a mama who said, I went 48 days without getting any medicine. Somebody give her a cookie. Did your baby live? Did you live? Is the baby all right? Are you all right? That's what I'm concerned about. Get that baby out of me and let's get on with life and get to living. I don't want to be laid up 45 days in labor, in pain. Let's get this baby out and get going now. Okay, now that's if, of course, if a C-section is needed. The point is, struggle is not a bragging right. And I don't know, especially when it comes to mental health, I just don't know why we got to the point where it's okay to not be okay, y'all. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to have to see Dr. Brandy B. It's okay. It's okay to have to see a therapist. It's okay to admit to somebody that I'm not okay. We are getting traumatized every day. If you wake up, there's bound to be a trauma. Everywhere I went yesterday, I believe, everybody was talking about all these wrecks around, right? And I like to be on time wherever I'm going. I had an appointment. There was a wreck on the road. I'm on the phone with them. I'm like, I'm trying to make it. Because these people, when you make an appointment with them, they require half of the cost of the service. So I got a whole half of a cost of a service online, and somebody ahead of me had the audacity to have a wreck. So, I need to clear this road. That's a trauma, y'all, because I'm stressed out. I'm trying not to use words that Jesus wouldn't use, but golly, these people act like they don't know how to drive and just brake at the appropriate time so you don't hit nobody. But I digress. Okay, financial. Time off from work, unemployment, right? Because I've had many a parent lose their job because their child was doing this, that, and the other, right? So, what I would, I like to recap: social, emotional, academics, legal, medical, and now financial. We got some questions. Let's see what y'all saying. So we're tagging people. Tanya Harding says, I continually learn new info from you. Thank you so much for caring for and helping my son. You know I love you. You are the sister to my sister, so I can't help but do it. Mama says, I enjoy your program. Always. Thank you, Mama. My mama's so cute, y'all. Miss Brady Church at Alexander is watching. Thank you. Miss Kawanda Maxwell Smith is tagging people. She's letting them know. Dr. Leah says, best give them that medicine if you want them to take that meat out of the freezer to thaw out while you're at work. You know what I'm talking about, because you're going to walk in trying to get your seasonings together and your meat will still be frozen. They will have forgotten being at home all day long, not doing a darn thing with your meat, and it is frozen when you get home. Miss Tanya says, do you think that keeping the ADHD medicine all the time can help depression and anxiety, can help keep depression and anxiety better in check? Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. And let me tell you why. Y'all know I don't just know how to answer a question. That's just not the Dr. Brandon way. I gotta tell you the answer and then explain it, so you believe me, right? Because I'm not one of these trust me, I'm a doctor. I want you to trust me because I'm giving you evidence-based medicine. There are some people who have ADHD and depression. There are some people who have ADHD and anxiety. There are some people who have ADHD that causes anxiety or ADHD that causes depression. Catch the difference? Some people have both. Some people have anxiety and depression that are caused by ADHD. And how, Dr. Brandy? Well, I told you at the very beginning. If I'm always in trouble, if I always pick the wrong answer, if I never can seem to do things right, eventually I'm going to say stuff like, I'm no good at math. I'm just a dummy. I can't keep friends. I don't ever do anything right. I'm not as good as my brother and sister. My mama and daddy love my brothers more. Nobody likes me, right? Or that's depressive symptoms. Or you're going to say, well, I studied for the test the last time, and I studied and I knew them, and I got a 62. I wonder if I'm going to study and get a 62 again. I better not even study. I won't even study, because studying won't do any good. I'm not going to remember. I'm not going to get the answer right. Right? And so that's your anxiety. So absolutely, treating the ADHD can most certainly keep the depression and the anxiety in check. Doctor, let me know if that does not answer the question, or if it does. Dr. Leah says, all facts, no printer. You tell them, you know I'm going to tell them. I am going to tell them. Miss Kawanda was wondering the same thing, so we got her addressed as well. Dr. Lish Wills is over there teaching all those great students at her school. We appreciate you for doing what you do. Okay, what else we got? Athletics, I already mentioned. Right? So, we got these amazing scholar athletes. Amazing, but they can't remember the plays, right? So in a little bit, maybe not today, but in a little bit, football teams are going to start doing 2-a-days. Band is going to start having practice. Cheerleaders are going to start going to camps. You need to remember this. You need to remember what the people are teaching you. You need to remember the plays. If you're supposed to go left on hut and you go right on hut, coach is not happy, and your teammates aren't either. Especially if your coach punishes the whole team when one person makes a mistake. Now we got a situation. So, camps are going on. Practice is going on right in the middle of summer. That might be a reason to treat. Family interactions. Do not forget that ADHD, first of all, I want parents to understand that ADHD does not feel good. I don't know if the commercial still airs, but there used to be a commercial that said, depression hurts. At the time, I don't think I was a psychiatrist, and so I didn't really understand what that meant. And then as I studied it more, I learned that it really does. Your head hurts, your neck hurts, your back hurts, your stomach may hurt. Everything feels heavy. You can hardly move because stuff is just weighing you down. Well, ADHD does not feel good either. It doesn't feel good to you mentally because you're always doubting yourself. Other people are always doubting you. And then it doesn't feel good because, again, you're doing stuff to hurt yourself physically with drugs. You might break some bones just jumping and, climbing on the top of your chest of drawers. I mean, just doing stuff all the time. And so, Mr. Garrett Thornton, hello. He says, I remind me of my grandmother and my father. Thank you so very much. I've been thinking of them lately. But you're always doing something. And so it hurts. It hurts emotionally to not be picked for the team because all the other kids know that you aren't going to be paying attention when they're giving out the rules, or you're not going to even wait to establish the rules. Just take off and start doing something, right? But in the home as well, ADHD can ruin a family, right? For a couple of different reasons. I've seen ADHD ruin families because one parent believed the child had it and the other did not. I've seen ADHD ruin relationships because the other spouse who did not have ADHD did not understand why their spouse was always forgetting stuff, forgetting to pay the bills. Lights get turned off. We got money, but the lights off. Why? Because you forgot to pay the bill. The envelope is still in your car with a stamp on it, and you never submitted it. You say things like, time got away from me. How? The sun is coming up. How much time did you need? Real life, y'all. I had a lady once told me that her husband would routinely forget to close the car door outside of the garage. He would not pull it in. He had a bay. He would not pull it in, and he would leave the car door ajar and leave the garage door ajar as well. And she was like, I think I'm gonna have to divorce him because he won't close the door. We could wake up and anybody is just inside of our house because he's left the door. He would forget. And then of course, so you got the strife between the families, the spouses, the parents. If one of them has ADHD, which oftentimes there is, and you know that if you listen to me, or you could have strife between the adults because one of them doesn't agree that the child has it, or they don't agree with the child being treated for it. And we've got conversations about that too. Go back and look. And then you've got tension between the siblings, especially if you have a sibling who is either very hyperactive, very intrusive, very loud, and they are always kind of bothering the others, or if you have one who just doesn't have ADHD and the one who does is always having to get attention. You always got to go to the emergency room with them. You always got to be at the school with them. We got to change up the whole family plans because you know your sister loud and we can't go to that nice exclusive restaurant. And so that can create strife between siblings. So you got siblings mad at each other. You got the non-ADHD child mad at the parents. You got the daddy mad at the mama. And then the other thing that can happen in relationships and family interactions is that nobody will keep these kids. Ain't nobody finna keep these kids. These kids come to people's houses. They don't sit down. They walk on the sofa. They rocking in their chairs at the kitchen. They done poured whipped cream all over the glass. They opened up that refrigerator and left it open for 5 minutes. The ding, ding, ding going on. All the meat has melted. These children have been banned from more places than the law allows. And so now that couple never gets a break because nobody will keep those kids. So if you're trying to get a date in before summer ends, this might be your chance. That might be your reason. Let's see what we got here. Miss Tanya says, yes, thank you. I have been encouraging my son to keep taking the ADHD medicine even though school is out because I had noticed a difference in his depression, anxiety when he continuously takes the ADHD. Yes, absolutely. There is a big difference. There can be a big difference. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see what else we got. Miss Kawanda says, good information as always. Headed back to work. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell your boss we say hello. Tell him let you stay a little bit longer next time. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Come back and catch it though. I've just got a few more tips and then we'll be done. All right. And so the last thing that I really want you all to take away from this is that, you know, everybody probably, nobody's ever asked me, but people probably wonder, Dr. Brandon, why do you go so hard for ADHD? I mean, it's just ADHD. Why you go so hard? Why do you even care like that? I mean, it's just ADHD. Suicidality is not a part of the symptom list. And you're right. Suicidality or suicidal thoughts, you're absolutely right. It's not a part of it. But let me tell you how these kids can still die. And these adults. Drugs. Because these kids are going to medicate themselves. Hello? Hello? Do y'all hear me? These kids are going to medicate themselves. These adults are going to medicate themselves. They're going to drink alcohol to calm that brain down because that brain is always moving, y'all. It's just jumping like whoop, 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 whoop. They're gonna use some alcohol. They're going to use some marijuana. They're going to use some cocaine, and they're going to use some meth. And let me tell you something while I'm right here. Now, y'all know I usually don't be talking about these medicines, but I'm going to give it to y'all today. I get a lot of people that get confused about, well, he was doing fine, and I know we would never do no marijuana until he stopped that medicine. That medicine, he went and replaced it with marijuana. You're absolutely right. It was not the stopping of the medicine that caused your loved one to go and start smoking, drinking, or doing anything else. It was the impulsivity of ADHD that made your loved one find those things. I want you to listen to me very clearly because that sounds alike, right? Right? This is research proven. Y'all know I don't just tell y'all stuff that's just, you know, made up that I come up with. This is what research has consistently shown. Children whose ADHD is treated are much less likely to end up on drugs than children who are not. They're impulsive, y'all. And so most kids want to stop coming to see me at about 7th to 8th, 9th grade. Because it's not cool. It ain't cool to see me. I mean, I'm cute and I'm cool. But coming to see me is not a cool thing. Which is why telemedicine, again, is so important. And I need to give y'all an update on what happened with the letters that you all wrote. But it's at that age, that 7th grade age, that you are allowing your child to have age-appropriate freedoms. Like going to a friend's house. Go going out with friends, right? And you assume that if you're dropping them off, some parents will still stay, but some will drop off. You assume that they're staying there and they're watching a movie or doing whatever it is that they're supposed to be doing. And so if they're stopping their medicine, but they still have ADHD, right? Stopping their medicine, but now we get into drugs, sex, and rock and roll. Now we got a situation. They are going to treat their ADHD. They don't know they're treating it, though. They're just impulsive, right? So don't come at me talking about, that's meth you gave my baby. No, because that would make me a drug dealer, and it would put me in jail. And I sleep good every night knowing that I don't break laws related to, that kind of thing. So, why is ADHD such a big deal? Why do I go so hard? It is because it can either take a child's life or it can get it so far off track that they will then spend the rest of their lives trying to get it back on track. It can either take their life or get their lives so far off track that they spend the rest of their lives trying to get it back on track. And then there is a third group of people who they'll never get on drugs. They'll never get off track. But they will never reach their full potential. And I know what you're saying, Mama. Well, shoot, I mean, if he was going to be president, but he ended up being vice president, that might be all right with me. Might be, but he might be so far off track from his, his abilities that McDonald's is as far as we can get. And ain't nothing wrong with McDonald's now. Let me tell you. Because I love a hot fry. And somebody has got to fry them. But if you're talking about a genius level person that you just were hell-bent on not treating their ADHD or even acknowledging that they had it, and the best they end up doing is dropping fries when people were slating them to be the president, shame on you. I'm going to just tell you. Your family won't tell you because they all support you. They all talking like crazy stuff like you. But I'm going to tell you because this is my show. If you don't like it, leave. Shame on you. If you've got a budding president and you are telling them, everybody in our family drop fries, you can drop them too, shame on you. Somebody's got to break it. But anyway, let me stop. Okay, how do these kids die? They die from swimming. They forget they don't know how to swim. They die from driving too fast. Many of my adolescent children will hit a tree, hit something, total at least one car. They're speeding. I've had one patient, thank God, just one, who killed a passenger that was with him. He killed his friend. And so he has to live with that for the rest of his life. And the last I talked to him, he was not doing well with that. Oh, I have another patient who killed his friend as well, his best friend, with a firearm. He was just impulsively, he said, I just pulled it out to see what it would do. So ADHD treatment can change your life. And so I'm not trying to scare y'all. I'm trying to educate you. Because if you're educated, what I get all the time is, I never thought about that like that. That's what you have me for. I've seen probably 20,000-ish patients. So I don't care what you tell me about. I've probably seen it, heard it, can write a book about it. I did write a book about it. You should get my book. You should get Shine, Understanding ADHD so your child can be a star. You should get it at www.shineadhdbook.shop. You should get it. All right. So the social piece, the emotional piece, the academics, and the legal piece. The medical piece, the financial piece, the athletics, the family interactions, and life. All right. Miss Tanya says, you go so hard because you are the best and you truly care. My family and I love you and thank you for taking care of our babies. And I love and I thank you for allowing me to. Y'all, because people have choices. And so I am grateful for you allowing me to take care of your baby. That is an honor for me. It is a privilege for me. And it's one that I don't take lightly. Which is why when you see me out with my family, I am letting my hair down and giving back to them because they allow me to be with y'all all the time. My 4-year-old, she now, whenever I approach the computer, she said, "You about to work, mommy?" So my baby associates the computer with me working. So yeah, but I go hard for ADHD and anything else that I treat. I go hard for my patients, period. Whatever it is, we gonna work it out. We gonna make somebody mad. And with a husband who does education law, we are going to, me and the parents, because I just know stuff, we're gonna go hard. Where do I get the book? You can get the book. I can't type now, but www.shineadhdbook.shop. I'll put it in the chat as soon as I stop and can get it in there. Shine, the name of the book is Shine Understanding ADHD So Your Child Can Be a Star, and the website is shineadhdbook.shop, S-H-O-P. And I think right now I have not changed the price, so if you order it now, it's at $17, but typically it's $20. I don't know, it may even be free shipping now. I can't remember. I had it on a special and I never took it out. I just realized that I didn't take it off. So it's $17 now, but I'm gonna fix that sometime today and it'll be back at $20 plus $5 for shipping. I love you, says Miss Renee. Thank you for taking care of my baby. You know your baby is my baby. Her baby is grown, y'all. He is what, pushing 30? Somewhere between 25 and 30. Lish Wills put it there, shineadhdbook.shop. That's it. We'll get it sent off to you. Now, y'all know I'm running a one-woman show, but we'll get it there. Okay, so real quick, let me tell you this. So you might be saying, well, Dr. Brandy B, it's 28. I knew we were getting on up there. Okay, real quick, I just want to tell y'all. So what are some real life examples of needing to focus? Making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. People that don't have ADHD, we already know what we got to do. We got to get the bread, the peanut butter, the jelly, the knife, the napkin, the plate. We got to have somewhere clean to do it. We got to know where these items are, right? If you have ADHD, you probably didn't put the peanut butter, the bread, the jelly, or any of those things back where they should be. So you got to first find them. While you're looking for them, you could discover something else. Then that could mean that you get off track and you start doing something else. I mean, it's a mess. And then you come home from work and the peanut butter and jelly sandwich is still not made. Okay. Getting ready for school. I mean, because here's the deal. Most kids are still not staying at home all day. They got to go somewhere if you're working. So getting ready in the morning is just a chore. If you have a child with ADHD, you probably know what I'm talking about. So let me just tell you real quick how we can help our children. If you choose to not treat in the summer, or even if you do, you got to be consistent. And that's just in parenting in general. Consistency is the key. Consistency, consistency, consistency. You got to allow your children to express their emotions. Keep in mind that ADHD causes a lot of mood dysregulation. So if you are not treating them, they might be moody. You got to allow for that. You got to give them parameters to be moody. Go to your room and finish that out. And when you're done, come back, okay? You got to make sure that you're being rational in what you're and reasonable in your expectations of them. Keep in mind that children who have ADHD that is untreated, they can do no more than about 3 things. They cannot hold on to much more than about 3 things. So if you tell them a 4th, 5th, and 6th thing to go do all at once, be prepared for none of it to get done, or for them to bring you 6 items and none of them are the ones on the list, okay? Hey, Auntie Miss Sadie, we missed you, but I'm so glad that you're here. I hope you had a good dentist appointment. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in, all right? You got to be a good role model. Remember that if you're looking at a kid with ADHD, there is almost 40% chance that the dad has ADHD, almost 30% chance, 30-ish% chance that mom has it. So all these things that the kids are going through, you're going through too. So your emotions are raging and their emotions are raging. You just got one big tornado of emotions. So somebody in that mix needs to be treated. Somebody, otherwise that could be a situation. Somebody might catch a case and we don't want that. Set timers and allow breaks, right? And that is a break from you as well. because we get tired of our kids, right? Because we're human beings and we still need to be alone. We still need our own time. That's why we need stuff like mommy's time out. So make sure you're allowing that time and extending yourself grace, right? I've never heard that term so much until the pandemic, but it's true. Parenting is hard, in case y'all had not picked up on that. Anybody picked up on the fact that parenting is hard? It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work, and sometimes it can just be downright tricky and hard. I mean, I was thinking about a decision that I had to make, which was, most people would have been like, before I had kids, I would have been like, why are you even thinking about that? But you have to realize that every decision that you make as a parent could be the pivotal decision that impacts your child's trajectory for the rest of their life. And so that's a lot of undertaking. So you do have to just step back and say, I've got to do something for me. All right, make sure you give positive reinforcement. Again, children who have ADHD hear so often, why didn't you do this? Why did you do this? And it's all these negative undertones. Don't you know that 2 + 2 is 4? Why'd you pick 5? Right? And so eventually we get back into that anxiety and that depression again, those symptoms that can be caused by that. So when that child does anything right, oh my God, it said choose red crayons and you picked up the red. Like, just go ballistic and give that positive reinforcement, because keep in mind, this kid hears so much negativity that you aren't even thinking about. For about 6 months, I would start all of my interviews off with, tell me something good. And because people are just used to complaining, they would start off with something negative, and then they'd have to catch themselves and start telling me something positive. I would then ask some parents, and about 2 or 3 said, I have nothing good to say about this child. I'm going to encourage you to please not be that parent. There's got to be something good about your child. And if you do not know what it is, then that means you don't know your child. You've not spent enough time with them because of your work, because you're frustrated, because you don't have money, because you have ADHD, depression, anxiety, you're upset, you're mad, you got PTSD. Something is going on with you in your own life that you don't know your child. Because I am not going to believe that there is a human being walking the earth that somebody can't say at least one good thing about them, and certainly not a child. So I'm going to encourage you to make sure you get to know your kid. If you think that there is nothing positive that can be said about them, that speaks more about you than it does about them. All right? You want to make sure you get the school involved. Right now is the time to already be engaging the school and coming up with a plan for next year. If they have an IEP, when is it going to be updated? Has it been updated? Are there new diagnoses? Are there new medicines? Is there something that the school needs to know? Because when school starts on day one, we need to be, as they say in Birmingham City Schools, day one ready. We don't need to be getting a plan. We need to already have a plan. And if your plan includes not treating ADHD, then we need to know how are we going to handle that. Keep in mind, guys, for every other mental illness, therapy is first line. I'm sorry to inform you that for ADHD, medication is considered first line. You can do therapy with it, but again, imagine me telling you, keep a journal, keep a calendar, use Post-it notes, and you lose it. You lose stuff, you forget stuff. It is gonna be very difficult for you to keep up with some of the therapeutic modalities and suggestions because your forgetfulness is so significant. Use checklists and lists. Again, if you lose them, post them up, pin them up. For parents who are trying to use behavior charts, and a kid who has ADHD and you're trying not to treat it, remember, they may not even remember what was on the chart. They don't remember, right? And so you're trying to get them to go play by rules that they literally do not remember. And so you have to ask yourself, is that fair? And then the last thing I want you to do is to have fun. It is a chore to raise children who have ADHD. Partner with someone, either the other parent, a partner, somebody who has a vested interest in them. But hopefully everyone has some help. I call my help my village, right? There's a whole bunch of us, and we do whatever we can and pitch in for all the little kiddos, because it really does it really does take somebody who's on your team. There are going to be people who will question you and who will just downright say you are a bad parent if you choose to treat your child's ADHD. So you need an ally, somebody who can be there with you to support you in your decision, and also to support you when you need respite and relief. And so if you don't have that person, you know, there's got to be like some mommy groups, ADHD groups, something like that. And that might be a good place to start, because sometimes you need to tell somebody, right? And it's not that you're complaining, but you need to blow that off and let somebody know. And it may be that only a parent who has a child with ADHD can understand what it is that you're going through, because it is a unique situation. And remember, I always say, for all the people who say, if I were you, I would. Okay, if I were you, that right there is the key phrase. You're not me. You will never be me. You probably don't even want to be me. You couldn't handle being me. You wouldn't even excel one day being me. And that's why I tell people all the time, you don't know what I go through. You have no idea what it is like to be Dr. Brand, to be. I make this look good and I make it look easy. But there's a whole lot going on all the time. And so you're not me. And so anything you're going to tell me after, if I were you, and it's related to my parenting or something that you've never done, it just might be difficult. So make sure that you're keeping that into consideration. Even if it's somebody who raised their kids 40, 50, 60, 80 years ago, they're not raising a kid in 2023. They may have some really good core principles, but their kids didn't have cell phones. Their kids didn't have computers in their hands all the time. And so it's very different. And so unless they can say that they are you, then they can't tell you what they would do if they were you. And so make sure you're keeping that in mind. At the end of the day, make sure that you are doing. Dr. Leah, you know I'm going to go off because this is my show, right? I have to hold my peace when I'm in with these patients, but really I don't. My patients know. They get it too. I give them the business. Because I would be less than a physician, a good physician, a great physician, if I just let people walk in there and I didn't at least tell them what I know to be fact. But I let them make the decision, but they can never say, she didn't warn me of this, she didn't educate me about this. And so that's what I do. So I want you all to know that. Miss Renee says, can I get a PM when you can on your private practice? I have a loved one that needs to see you. So yes, my private practice is Rudolph Bowling Psychiatry. And the website is, so if you Google my name, it'll come up in Birmingham. The website is rbpsychiatry.com. I will warn you, the wait list is very long, like very long. But do not let that discourage you. Please get on the wait list, because I'm going to be doing something to try to clear the wait list very soon. But that person won't get acknowledged if they're not on it. So make sure that they do that. So yeah, so have fun this summer, guys. Take the trips. Go to the beach. Go to McDonald's. Eat ice cream and let it drip down their faces. You know, they say we get 18 summers with our kids. And that means I have 10 with my oldest. That means that don't make me do all that math, but y'all get the point. He's 8, so I got 10 with him. All right. I got 12 with my middle boy, and with my baby girl, who is now 4. What does that mean I have left with her? I got 14 with her. Right? And these summers come and they go, and then they're back in school. So if the summer is going to be filled with a lot of hollering and screaming, and you getting upset and them getting upset and everybody being frustrated, give the treatment, right? You only get 18 summers and then they go away, right? And for all people that say, I'm never wanting you to go, that's a lie. That's a lie. You want your kid to go away, because that's what typically happens. That means that you have a typically developing child, because they're going to grow up, they're going to go to school, they're going to go to work, they're going to get a family, they're going to live independently, they're going to come pick you up for dinner every once in a while. That's why you better stay healthy. Instead of focusing all this negative energy on not giving them medicine, you better go exercise. So when they tell you that the wheels are up on the plane, you can say, don't leave without me, right? Go get yourself healthy so you can hang with them, because they're leaving your house. They're leaving your house. That's what you want them to do. I tell mine that right now. You got to go. I had you when I was 37, 38, and 40. Bye. When you turn 18, go so that I can come and visit you and leave your refrigerator door open. That's what I'm looking forward to. Leaving your refrigerator door open, leaving your pantry door open. So in order for me to be able to do that, you've got to leave. All these people talk about they don't want their kids to leave. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Okay, I'm sorry. I done got all out of sorts. Miss Renee says, yes, ma'am, I certainly can attest to that. You tell my son like it is. Probably the only doctor he's ever listened to and actually respects that you do that. I do. Now, you know his stories get long, but I just love him. I love him to Reese's Pieces. I really do. He's probably been with me a long time. Miss Stephanie Perry, thank you for dropping by. Lish Will says, yes, Lord, we want these babies to leave. Lish Wills had that baby when she was old like me. That's my high school classmate, y'all. We got these little babies. But you do. You only have 18 summers, guys. And all I want you to do is to not spend the summer screaming. Not spend the summers mad. Not spend the summers regretting that you had a kid. Hoping that they don't wake up all day. And I can say this because I know. Because mine allowed, right? Mine allowed. I'm like, oh, Lord, just let them sleep to about 1:30. Now, you know that ain't right. Want that baby to sleep all day. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out here. Any other questions y'all got? Go get the book, y'all. Go get the book. The book is really good. I'm not just telling you because at this point, I've paid for the book, right? I just want you to have the education. That's what the whole point is. And if you don't have the money, that's fine. No big deal. We have been doing this for 3 years now, guys. Since May of 2020, I've been over here on Fridays giving you all evidence-based medicine. That's just raw. Evidence-based research. That's just raw, right? People say, you're so real. I ain't fake. I don't even know how to be fake. It just don't even smell right when people are fake. It just look funny. You got to remember which person you are that day. And I got too much going on to remember. So make sure that you are treating your kids, or that you are at least alert to just be real with yourself. Just say, okay, the kid got ADHD, but I'm choosing not to treat it. That's gonna do you far better than to act like nothing is wrong. Okay, if you have a kid coming up on an odd number grade, don't say I didn't tell you. So don't come over here December of next year talking about what to do, blowing up my inbox, talking about what do I need to do because they're trying to say already he's going to be retained. I'm telling you this in June. These odd number grades are going to whip their behinds if they're not prepared. You need to get some structure, and you need to be honest with yourself and eat your Wheaties and exercise so you can be prepared to take the plane with them when they decide to leave, because they're going on the trip. And they may or may not take you, depending upon if you've been acting right. That's just how it's going to happen if you got a typically developing child. Absolute facts, says Dr. Lish Wills. She is right now eating some Wheaties so that when her baby girl, who is about 4 or 5, takes off, she is going to be right there with her. Right? Okay. All right, y'all. That's all I got today. I love y'all. Y'all are absolutely fantastic. Y'all gas me up, have me blushing over here, have my head all big. But I love y'all because there's something else I could be doing on Friday for sure, like sleeping. But anyway, I've got some good stuff coming up. I just need to get it together out of my head and into action. But until we see each other next week. So today's show came from actually a drug rep who said, hey, how can I make sure that primary care doctors, pediatricians know that medicines need to be given? And I said, you know what, I'll do a show about it. So this was easier for me because now it helps you. It would have helped her if I just would have typed all this out in much short form. But to that person later on, when you're watching Off the Clock, let me know what you think about it and if this was what you had in mind. And I hope you all enjoyed it as well. Auntie Julia, hello. We've been missing you. Where you been, girl? We've been missing you, Auntie Julia. So glad you're here. Auntie Brenda says thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm Dr. Brandy B., your triple board certified pediatrician, adult psychiatrist, and child and adolescent psychiatrist. And through my Facebook live stream, Focus on It Friday, through my speaking engagement. So if you need me at your place and y'all have a little cash to spare, go on in, help a sister out. I will come to your church. I will come to your house. I will come to your child's school, because guess who hires me the most? Schools are getting me. Why? Because teachers go to school to be educators. They do not go to school to know how to handle Johnny when Johnny's mood is dysregulated because of autism, because of depression, because of ADHD, because of anxiety, or whatever Johnny has going on. And so they bring me in to help the school. So your school, your church, your community, we work with any budgets. I ain't mean to turn this into a commercial, but I got these kids over here, and in these summers that we have left with them, we like to do some fun stuff. We need cash for that, right? All right, anyway, so I love y'all. I'm going to see you all next week. If you have something you want me to talk about, let me know. If you have some questions, let me know that too. Y'all have a good one. Be safe. Enjoy this summer. It's a countdown of summers. Talk to y'all later. Bye.